Hey guys, so in today's video we'll be learning how to make this beautiful balloon skirt. Are you as excited as I am? Because I am so excited. Yes, you can see how beautiful this balloon skirt looks on me. Actually felt like a princess. So if you like to learn how I made this balloon skirt, then you need to watch this video to the very end. My name is Veronica Adams Eze. Welcome to Vera Adams YouTube channel. Without wasting time, let's get started. So right here is the fabric that I will be using, and I have just 2 yards of this fabric. So if you want it fuller than mine, or if you're of a plus size, you will be needing more fabric. So I went ahead to fold this fabric into 4, just in the same way that you fold when you are cutting a flay. So I'm going to measure what I have, and I have a total of 22.5 inches. And out of that 22.5 inches, I have to calculate for my waist circumference, and I'll be adding most of the waist circumference because I want to pleat around the waist, because I'll be using an elastic for that. So I want the skirt to start from my belly button. So from that part to the mid thigh is about 18 inches, and the elastic is about 3 inches in length. Eventually I realized that it was 2.5, not 3. This is the elastic that I'll be using for the skirt. For the waist circumference, I'm going to be marking 6 inches for the radius here. I'll be marking 6 inches all along till I get to that point, and I'm going to align everything together. So while measuring, I'll be having about 40 inches, and my original waist is 26 inches, so I have a lot to pleat. At this point, I can go ahead to mark the skirt length, and here I have 16 inches. But I realized that this will not be enough, because we'll be needing some extra allowances to turn this fabric inwards. If you check the video that we saw on the mannequin, you realize that the fabric would extend inwards. You understand that as we move on. But right here, I'm still marking 16 inches. I'll still go ahead to correct that anyways. So what I'm trying to do here is to add to it. So I'm going to go ahead to cut the lower part of this fabric out so that I can join it to the side. I'm going to show you where I'll be joining it here. I'll be opening this part up, and I'll be attaching it right here so that we have more fabric to work on around this area. So I'm going to go ahead to use pins to pin it down, then take it to the sewing machine. You can see it's along the width of the fabric that I'm joining. I actually have 2 pieces of this, so I'll go ahead to attach the other piece also to the other side. Actually, all this is not needed if you have enough fabric. So this means that even for a slim person as mine, I still need more than 2 yards, because we are cutting flare. If it was a straight skirt, then to be fine. So to avoid joining, you'll be needing more yards of fabric to work with. Now that I'm done joining, I can go ahead to start working on the fabric. So I'll still go ahead to mark the 6 inches all around, just as we did before. And then we still have about 40 inches for the waist, and I'll then go ahead to impute the length that I want. So I'm marking 15 inches first, then extra about 4.5 inches that we used to turn in, just like I was saying before. So a total of 19.5 inches after the waist circumference. So I'm going to go ahead to mark the 19.5 inches all around, just as you're seeing me doing right here. So in case you were wondering where the joining is, so this is the part where the joining fell. So you can see the essence of joining. So I'm going ahead to mark 19 inches around that side. So I'm connecting everything together right here. Now I can go ahead to start cutting it out. So I'll cut this part out. Once I'm done with this, I can go ahead to cut out the waist circumference. Opening this up, you can see how wide, how full this is. So now that we're done with the fabric, we'll move on to the lining piece. So here I have just a yard of lining, and I'm gonna have to fold into 2. Note that this, I didn't fold it into 4. So right here, I'm going ahead to measure 8 inches. You'll note that this is more than what we did for the fabric. Don't forget that the fabric we folded into 4. Here we are folding this into 2. So for the lining, the waist circumference is supposed to be the natural waist circumference, but because I want to add an elastic band, I'll be adding about 5 to 10 inches to the natural waist circumference. So if you're not adding an elastic, maybe you're using a zipper, you can just leave this lining piece as your waist circumference. I hope you understand that. So right here, I'm going ahead to mark the length of the skirt. Note that we'll not be adding the 4.5 inches that we added to the fabric. This will just carry the original skirt length, which is 15 inches. That means the lining will be shorter than the fabric, and that's what will make it turn inside. Measuring the waist circumference here on the lining, I have about close to 16 inches times 2 give us 32 inches. That's about 6 inches more than the natural waist circumference. And also for the bottom, I have about 39 inches on fold. That will give us about 78 inches in total. I'll go ahead to also measure the one for the fabric, and I'm measuring right now. I have about 81 inches on fold. That will give me 162 inches in total. So you see that we have more than twice of what we have on the lining on the fabric. So we'll go ahead to gather, or you can pleat whichever one you want, but I'll be gathering here. You go ahead to gather everything that you have. That's the bottom, everything you have on the fabric to the lining piece. So right here, I've gone ahead to do that, and I'll go ahead to measure. I'll have about 25 inches right here on fold. That means I have about 50 inches in total. Actually, what we have on the lining piece is actually more than 50 inches. You know, we had about 80 something inches. So I went ahead to make small pleats round on the lining piece as well. So right here we have on the lining piece, we have about 26 inches on fold. That's about 52 inches. All you just need to know when gathering is that it has to be, whatever you have left at the bottom has to be about 10 inches more than your natural hip measurement. So my hip measurement is 37 inches plus 10 is about 47. So the 15 inches is actually more than that. So it's quite okay. So right here, I'll go ahead to attach the lining piece to the fabric so that I can join both at the bottom. So I'm going ahead to pin it down and then go ahead to take it to the machine and run a stitch all around with 1/2 inch. Now here it is after I was done stitching. We'll go ahead and close up this part of the lining with 1/2 inch from top to bottom. Once this is done, we can go ahead to close up this part also. So here it is after I went ahead to join that part, and I've laid the joining part open, and I've gone ahead to run a stitch to close that part up. So right now I'm going to go ahead to turn inside out, and here is the front side of it. See how it is looking, and I'll go ahead to push the lining inside, and here's what it looks like. So I'll drag the lining to the upper part. Remember that the lining is shorter, so you can actually drag it up. That's what would make it come out as so. Now that we are done with the bottom part, we are going to go ahead to the top area, and here we're going to go ahead to pleat the fabric. You know, we have about 40 inches for the waist circumference of the fabric, and we have about 30 inches on the lining. So we are going to go ahead to pleat what we have on the fabric till we have what we have on the lining piece. This is what the bottom part looks like. I've gone ahead to pleat around the waist circumference, and right now we're going to bring in the waistband. So I'll go ahead and attach the waistband. There's no wrong side or right side for this waistband. So I went ahead to cut about 30 inches of the waistband. That is exactly what I have here on the waist circumference on the fabric, but that's a mistake. You're supposed to cut exactly your own natural waist circumference, which is 26 inches, because after I was done, I realized that the waist area was so big. So go ahead and cut out your natural waist circumference. Then because it is elastic, it will stretch. So don't worry that, oh, how will it cover a 30 inches waist circumference. It will stretch because it is an elastic. And down, I'll take you to the sewing machine and stitch it down. If you saw this video to this part, I want to say a big thank you. If you found this video useful, do not hesitate to click on the like button, and if this is your first time here, do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I upload useful sewing tutorials weekly, so do well to turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified each time I drop a new video. So here's what the balloon skirt looked like after I was done stitching. You can go ahead to serge these edges so as to keep it neat. If you can't find this type of elastic, but you have the one of 1/2 inch or 1 inch, you can go ahead and attach a band, just the regular way we attach band. Then you can pass the elastic that you have inside the band. It will still come out the same way. At this point, we are done with this tutorial. I will see you in my next one. Bye.